Most people assume that growing up with extreme wealth and high social status means moving through life with zero friction. You have the best resources, the deepest networks, and an invisible tailwind pushing you forward. But look at the commute of Barron Trump during his freshman year at NYU. He leaves a Manhattan penthouse in a convoy of armored SUVs, flanked by NYPD and Secret Service agents hanging off the sides of a blacked-out Chevrolet Suburban. He bypasses the usual subway commute entirely, slipping into the NYU Stern School of Business through a discreet garage, moving unseen to get to class. Once inside, the security protocol gets even stranger. At 6'7", the president's son is trailed by bodyguards attempting to blend in by wearing jeans, sneakers, and backpacks. According to student observers, agents even escort him to the bathroom. We are continually fascinated by this dynamic. President Obama famously joked about how his daughter's social lives and curfews were dictated by their armed escorts. We look at the armored cars and the earpieces and wonder what it's like to live behind that wall. Yet that physical security detail is a highly visible symptom of a much quieter, invisible epidemic affecting wealthy youth all over the country. When you step away from the political elites and look at teenagers growing up in standard high socioeconomic status suburbs, a counterintuitive pattern emerges. This chart tracks psychological distress, showing anxiety and depression rates of affluent teenagers steeply diverging from national averages. Their environment operates under intense competition. Every advanced class, elite sports position, and Ivy League acceptance becomes a battleground, piling compounding weights onto a single student. The logistical reality of this competition means these teenagers often average over 3 hours of homework every single night. Guidance counselors in affluent districts report parents demanding to know how to fix students who are getting B averages, pushing the expectation that their children cannot be average, they must be exceptional. The result is an environment built for comfort that functions as an isolating pressure cooker. The drive for absolute perfection leaves zero room for failure. That isolation is built into the architecture of wealthy neighborhoods. Sprawling estates set far apart by long driveways and tall hedges create a physical barrier. In lower-income neighborhoods, families often rely on community cohesion and neighbors for childcare and support. Affluent families simply buy these services. They hire professional caregivers, specialized tutors, and therapists, removing the need for community cohesion. The intense career focus required to maintain that affluent lifestyle often takes precedence over family time. This leaves teenagers to navigate massive academic and social pressures largely unsupervised and emotionally alone. You can see echoes of this dynamic in the high-profile college freshmen navigating massive campuses. Rather than risk attending a party or a social event where every move is scrutinized, they retreat to their rooms. Reports note that Barron spends his free time safely removed from the public eye, playing the game FIFA online with friends. Extreme wealth allows families to purchase total privacy, but the hidden cost of that transaction is a profound structural disconnection from the people around them. Getting help for this disconnection is incredibly difficult because of a unique stigma. When a teenager possesses the latest technology, expensive clothes, and immense financial privilege, society naturally tends to dismiss their suffering. The adolescents internalize this reaction. They know they look like they have every advantage, so they refuse to admit weakness. They feel an intense obligation to maintain the flawless, successful image that their parents and their community expect from them. The resources and prestige that define their high status warp into the invisible bars of a psychological cage. They are trapped by the exact things that are supposed to protect them. Traditional talk therapy often stalls out here because these affluent teenagers are terrified of ruining their perfect image by saying the wrong thing out loud. To bypass that defense, therapists have started using a technique called expressive arts therapy. Instead of asking the student to talk about their feelings, the therapist asks them to conceptualize their anxiety and depression as a physical character. They hand over art supplies and ask the student to draw the monster sitting in the room with them. By forcing the invisible pressure into the physical world, the student has a non-threatening way to look at what is hurting them. They focus on the overlapping lines and chaos on the page instead of looking inward. The character pinned to paper makes them realize they hold the pen. The illness stays trapped in ink, while the person remains entirely separate. By giving their pressure a tangible form, they gain the ability to separate their own self-worth from the impossible expectations placed upon them. Which brings us back to the image of the high-profile teenager, flanked by guards, trying to navigate a crowded university. Our perspective shifts away from marveling at the logistics of VIP security. We start to see the human reality underneath it. The armored convoy and the wall of bodyguards represent the most extreme, literal version of the social disconnection that follows extreme privilege. It is the golden cage made visible.